Well, we got a few more months with a cheaper Xbox. At least that's what people in Japan are probably saying, as Microsoft has announced, yes, they will be increasing the price in Japan quite shortly. This is unfortunate, but there is also some other Xbox news, including Lulu talking about The Last of Us being a good show, so the FTC should let Activision be purchased by Microsoft. That one's a little weird. And just a few updates here and there. Smaller stuff today, but the price increase is the big one. So let's dive in right now. So you might have heard this one already, but Microsoft will increase the price of Xbox Series X and S by 5,000 yen, roughly $39, beginning February 17th. Never in my career would I have imagined that companies would raise the price of their consoles and people would be like, yay! Like, how is this happening? Has this ever happened before where both Microsoft and Xbox, or Nintendo back in the day and Sega, rose the price of their hardware midway through a console generation? It's ridiculous. And I can't believe it's happening. I know there's inflation and stuff happening, but like that didn't happen in, what was it, 99 when the housing crisis happened? It'd be like, it would be like when the world was having the toughest time ever and everybody increased the price of their video game consoles of all things. I think it's ridiculous and I can't believe it's happening. Anyway, let's read the statement from Microsoft. In a statement, Microsoft Japan said, after carefully evaluating the market condition in Japan, we have decided to change the suggested retail price of Xbox consoles in the country. We regularly evaluate the impact of local pricing to maintain reasonable consistency across regions. This price revision affects our customers and was a difficult decision to make, but going forward, we will continue to provide the ultimate Xbox experience that our customers expect. Well, here's what I expect, seeing you're starting to raise the price of everything. Game Pass is next. You're going to keep raising in other territories the price of the console, which I imagine is going to happen. We already know that, where was it? I want to say India, the price has just been going up because the value of their dollar has just been plummeting, basically. And this stinks. Like, I'm not going to pretend I'm happy about anybody raising their console price. To me, it's just sort of insane. How bad are things when several years into a console cycle, two major billion-dollar companies are just like, yeah, now's the time to raise prices of things. You know, when everybody's struggling more than they have. Let's raise the price of everything. So no, I'm not happy about it. And I see a lot of people like, Justin's not going to say anything. I say anything about anything that involves a negative impact to the consumer. Yeah, it sucks. Anyway, continuing on, let's talk about what Lulu Cheng Maservi said about the Last of Us episode. She is the EVP of Corporate Affairs and CCO at Activision Blizzard. And she had a few things to say after a good episode of The Last of Us. And it was very strange because she's pushing for the acquisition. But before we get to that, did you know half the people watching right now aren't subscribed? And if you subscribe today, I would hit my goal of hitting 100,000 subscribers today. So thank you for subscribing to those of you who have. And if you haven't yet, please consider doing so. Here's what Lulu had to say. Hey, FTC. The casual FTC thing. Did you catch last night's episode of The Last of Us? It was incredible. No wonder the show is breaking records. It's a true blockbuster watched by tens of millions. If you haven't already, you should check it out. You may particularly be interested in the fact that The Last of Us HBO continues to prove that it can be the greatest video game to TV adaptation ever. I'm in awe. This is weird. This is one of the weird... Whatever's going on right now with Xbox, both of these announcements are just like strange. They're like, we're not going to raise prices. Phil Spencer did confirm in December that they were going to raise prices of consoles. So Japan is the first to get hit, and expect people to not be happy in the near future. At least Sony, like when Sony did it, I wasn't happy about it, but that Band-Aid was ripped off. They knew they were going to take the PR hit, and now people have moved on with their lives, right? If Xbox is going to do that by territory, yeah. And then we got Lulu here doing this weird Last of Us tweet. Let me just read the whole thing to you for context. The Last of Us is produced by Sony Pictures Television and PlayStation Productions. It's based on a best-selling video game developed by a Sony-owned studio and published by Sony as a PlayStation exclusive. Why does that matter? The FTC has opposed the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal on the grounds that Microsoft could suppress competition from rival consoles by leveraging Activision games. It sounds like there's some worry that Sony's position as market leader could be jeopardized by this deal. But there's no cause for concern. Sony has an unrivaled war chest of IP, not just in gaming, but TV, movies, and music, which can be developed into games or can market existing games. Case in point, the TV show The Last of Us is already generating renewed interest in the game. And she's right. The Last of Us television show has been so successful that sales of The Last of Us Part 1 have sort of exploded, and I'm sure Part 2 also. So it's been kind of incredible to see the impact of one successful product on a video game franchise. And her point of Sony having access to other IP, like the Spider-Man IP is a great example, and just how successful that product was for them is very true. Now, I've said from the beginning that, yes, I do think the Activision Blizzard deal should go through. I don't see any issue with it. Everybody's like, consolidation. Consolidation is going to happen regardless. There's a few, like, here's what alternatively could have happened. Activision decides they want to shut down, they splinter off all their IPs, and whoever gobbles them up. So everybody gets a little bit of IP. Everybody seems totally fine with that, which is strange. But if one person buys all the IPs because they have more money, that's bad. I just don't agree with it. I think if Sony could have made an offer, they would have, and they probably would have made things exclusive because that's just how they roll. Anyway, I feel like that's like sort of beating the dead horse at this point. Let's continue on with this one. Sony's talent and IP across gaming, TV, movies, and music are formidable and truly impressive. It's no wonder they also continue to dominate as the market leader for consoles. In gaming, Sony is the first of us, and they will be just fine without the FTC's protection. Lulu, what are you doing? Come on. In gaming, Sony is the first. It's a play on words from the last, like. Now, I've thought a lot of her tweets were really good. This one, it's just too much. It's too much, like, it's too tongue-in-cheek. It's too, like, jokey. It got picked up by a lot of places, but, like, okay. I would rather read the legal documents, but, you know, she's very, open with her statements on Twitter, and I think it does a lot to sway public opinion about the deal. But I thought that one was a little bit much, a little bit too punny for my taste. There are a few other updates about the Activision Blizzard deal. This is from Idis over on Reset Era, but he pointed out that the Capital Forum posted the European antitrust agenda. Microsoft Activision deal nears endgame. CMA extends Korean Air/Asian Airlines remedy review. BMW Volkswagen contests CMA powers inclusion investigation. UK watchdog flags plans for sustainability deals. So it does sound like the deal is nearing the end. Let's see if they posted anything since then about Microsoft. I am not seeing anything off the top of the list. Stuff about the FTC, and then there we go. There's the Activision Blizzard deal. So that was an update there. And then, oh yeah, just before I head out, so I just wanted to talk about this. Paul Tassi pointed out this thing on Metro, where Metro said, the wasteland that has been the Xbox release schedules for the last few years limits the accolades we can give the game. What? What? Paul Tassi said, yeah, I really don't think you should penalize a game for the quality of other unrelated exclusive offerings on a console. Metro, what are you doing? Like, I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless. You're penalizing a fantastic game because Xbox didn't have a lot of releases in 2022. That should not be in your review. That should not be how video games are reviewed. They should be reviewed on their own. Like, that's nuts to me. Like, docking a game or criticizing a game because The Xbox ecosystem didn't have a lot of exclusive releases in 2022. Absolutely ridiculous. And I'd be really curious if Metro has actually updated and responded to that. Paul Tassi also said, Starfield is great, but man, I am still mad about Halo Infinite, so that's going to cost you. Yeah, it'd be like Spider-Man came out on PlayStation, but you're mad about Gran Turismo 7 microtransactions. So it'd be like Spider-Man 2 is an amazing game, but they put microtransactions in Gran Turismo 7, so I just can't give it a 10 out of 10. Like, it's ridiculous. And I think everybody calling Metro out, absolutely justified. Complete nonsense. Oh, I actually had one more. So this is sort of just like, I can't make a whole video about these, so let's cover off all of them in one. Rumor, according to Jeff Grubb, Undead Labs is working on a new IP alongside State of Decay 3, and this title is expected to announce the new project next year. Jeff has also suggested Starfield in June and Hellblade releases in 2023. That lines up with my expectations. Also, there's been no indication that Starfield has slipped. The About website was updated recently. So yeah, and that's it. That's the long and the short of where we are currently at with everything Xbox. Let me know what you think about the price increase. I think it's bad. Let me know what you think about Lulu's tweets. She makes a good point, but she lost me at PlayStation is the first. Like, oh my God. Really? And then the other things, what else have we covered? The Metro article and the rumors. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you like my content, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. I greatly appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Thank you to the members all right here. I really appreciate you watching. If you want to become a member, click that join button right below. Where's the arrow? Boom, there it is. And before I go, check out the previous video I did right here. A lot of interesting stuff going on in the case. And if you want to be up to date, watch that. I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.